So first we're gonna go into each one of the users. We have the users P and E, and we are going to make a request to start a chat with them. They're gonna start a chat together.
Love this.
So this is the button click listener, and we're gonna step through here. First, we check the contacts list that is not empty or no contact is selected, and if it is, we make a request to communication controller with the user and the current user and the person that's going to be added. Then we split the request, and we can see the whole request that was sent over here to the main controller. And,
I cut it down to 9.
and the main controller will choose the correct state and then send the appropriate sender and recipient. So over in the communication controller, we serialize the data, and we're going to step into it so we can see what it's doing. And then we will send that message over to the server. Now we move over to the server side. On message, receive it on chat. With chat has a single responsibility of managing the chats between different users. And then we receive the request for a new room with the 2 users. So we step, deserialize the data first, return the value, and then find the correct case. Over here, case 1, new room, and we get the sender and receiver. Now we need to check if they are already in a room because we're going to get this request twice, one from the sender, one from the receiver. So first we check if they are online, and both of them are online. And now we find the first empty room. We got their room name kept, and then the members are the values. So first we check if they're in it. So first we're going to check every single room, ensure that they are not in that specific room. And this is just a for each loop. So I will pause it and skip over all the iterations. After we return null because there's nothing, they're not in a room currently. So then we check if it's null. And if it's null, then we would just return that specific room that they're currently in, and it would bring up that room. But since they're not, and our current place, we don't have any members currently in the room that we're in, we try adding the members, both of them, sender and receiver, to a dictionary of members that has both of them as being online. And then for each one of those members, we're gonna get the value of their ID, their WebSocket ID, which for P is this one. And using that ID, we will send over a message, send it out. Send the message out, and then we will add it to the proxy. Now we'll step into the proxy. Add to proxy is a class that will invoke an event handler. And the proxy is simply keeping the 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 history of the chats. So let me skip this loop. And this loop was put in here because it was moving too fast for the WebSocket. So I will pause this. So now that we are in the proxy, we add that specific uh, text to the room if it exists, and if it doesn't, then we create the room and then add the text.
We won't play until he's done recording.
And then we continue from that to proxy within the chat class. After we add the text to proxy, we invoke an event that will tell the server that the room has been updated. And it will pass all the rooms so the server can sort through them and figure out which room has what inside of it. So after it loops through every room, it will find the one that has people and then invoke actions to update the UI. It will update it with the key and the users that are currently in the room. And then we return home. We return to the client side and then break out of the case. And over here, we can also see that the users are added to the specific room. Now, after the response is done, we have an on-chat message method on the communication controller, which is actually set up here as an on message for the chat responses. So once the response is obtained, it goes into that method. And then we hit the response from the server, and the server ends up sending a whole array, a whole string, asking for a new room, replying, there's a new room, it's called S, and there's 2 members in it. So we step into it, and we send the contents over to the main controller. The main controller will handle the new room. So step into it and find the new room. Find the new room. Oops, new room R. That's the response, right? We step into the response. We have the room, the sender, the recipient. And then we check if the recipient is equal to the friend. And then we join that specific room with that friend. And then we update the UI with the sender and the recipient. And then we use our custom message event args to get that message. And then the UI is updated with the invoke. So we check if we're on the correct thread. If not, we switch to the UI thread, we move over, we update it, and then we check if the update message event is null, which is not. It's it's a message event args that we just saw that helps us update the UI that we just saw in action. So we return the whole string, and then we set the current room to the room that we're in right now. And then we have a successful adding to the chat.